had Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal.
This fight pretty much went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
For sure.
You know?
Oh, by the way, in our prediction, you picked Izzy, right, before?
Mm-hmm.
I
I think
picked
you did
Izzy
too,
as
right?
well. Yep, I picked Izzy. I had Gilbert Burns in this one. You had
Gilbert Burns. I think I
Masvidal. No,
know
I'm just
where
kidding.
this is going to end up at the end of the pay-per-view. Who picked what? Blah, blah, blah. Good job. You
Well,
nailed
dude,
it.
I don't even remember who else you picked, bro. I don't even remember who else you picked. But here we go. Jorge Masvidal, Gilbert Burns. How old is Jorge again? 38?
38.
And he looked every bit of it.
Yeah, and Gilbert Burns 36, right? He's not some young fighter either. But I
No.
was texting, my mom was texting me about it, and she was like, I was like, yeah, I think George is probably, he's a little washed. He's close to 40. And then when they did the tail of the tape, she texted me back. She's like, oh, Gilbert's close too. They're not that distant in age, right? 36, 38. But there's a line in between 36 and 38 that seems like it's very hard. There's a drop off in between there. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
36 to 38 is not the same as like 28 to 30. You know, it seems like I don't know what number it is or where it is, but 38 and 36 is
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah, but it's also, you know what? It's a lot of miles at
That
38,
too.
man. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Not
Like
every 38
this
is the
guy's
same.
been backyard brawling. I mean, because if you take a
Yeah.
look at Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, for example,
Yeah. What is he? 30?
still
He's probably
look.
38, right?
I think he's up there. He's up there if you want to double check. But
Is he
I
40?
feel like Masvidal's like 10 years older than him.
Seems like it.
You know, and
Wonderboy's
look,
40.
Masvidal. See, and I still feel like Wonderboy has more in the tank. I see
Yeah.
Masvidal even before the fight, and I thought to myself, I don't know how much longer this guy can go.
Mm-hmm.
Again, backyard brawl started 20 years ago. You know, in the streets of
So many
Miami,
fights.
so many fights, exactly. And he's made a lot of money at this point.
Yeah.
He's got other business ventures. You know, like he's doing really well for himself. And
Got to pay that
they always
lawsuit with
say,
Colby.
it's hard to get out of those silk sheets, to wake up every single day and hit the grind and, you know, get punched in the face for a living if you don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's the reason that he looked the way he did last night, but I think that it definitely plays a part. I think it
It
plays a
plays a
small
part,
part.
right? Anybody who says there's so many factors that go into what you turn up in the fight, right? It could just be a bad training camp. You could be feeling kind of sick that week. You could be 38 years old. You could have 50 plus fights where you have a lot of miles on. Like all of it goes into it.
Yep.
So everything has an effect on the fight, but at the same time, that applies to both fighters, right? I'm sure there's plenty of negative things affecting Gilbert's performance in this fight, but it's who can go out there and overcome those things. That's the first fight. You know, the first fight happens before they get in
Yeah.
the cage,
I don't
and
remember who said, but somebody had said like there's never a fighter that goes in 100%.
no, there's never. Um, and Gilbert Burns goes out there. First round was kind of close. I had Gilbert Burns winning it, but it was kind of close compared to the next two rounds. But second round, Gilbert gets the takedown and just kind of just beats down on Masvidal. Not the best round. Third round was Gilbert Burns just teeing off on Masvidal. Masvidal back up against the fence, gets hit with a solid shot, sticks his tongue out.
Over
I
and
saw
over
someone
again.
post a picture side by side of Masvidal with his tongue out next to like that picture of Albert Einstein with his tongue out. Same face. And
Different but
Gilbert
same.
Burns same but different. Gilbert Burns just cracking him over and over and over again. And like I said, I'm not going to be as negative towards the UFC, but I do
Hey,
have
I'm
to
proud
shout
of you,
out.
dude.
I do have to shout out the boy Joe
Uh-oh.
Rogan because a minute into this round, right before the takedown in the third round, Gilbert Burns is cracking him, just teeing off on him, and Masvidal's getting hit. He's like, "Come on, give me more," and then just getting hit again, just back on the fence,
He's rolling with
and
him.
he shoots at the takedown, and they're up against the fence. He's gonna get the takedown. It's obvious. And Joe says, "This could be big in a round that's a final round that's very close so far." And it's like, Joe, what are you watching, man? Your boy's getting fucked up. It's bad,
Yeah.
but
He was just on
not
the Joe Rogan podcast too, right, Masvidal?
yeah, I'm sure that's why he said it. He's like,
Yeah,
it's tough to watch your friends fight. It's tough.
it
You know,
is. It
it's
is.
probably really tough to watch them get the shit beat out of them.
But
But
look,
Gilbert Burns
dude,
did what he needed to do.
Masvidal had a long career. He was very entertaining to watch the last, 3 years of his career. I think we said he's the definition of catching lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah,
Where,
yeah.
the knockout with Darren Till, the flying knee, that even Dana says, like, that flying knee changed his life, man.
Changed Dana's life.
Changed Ben Askren's.
Definitely.
Legend has it he's still waking up somewhere. But
Yeah. Still hasn't woken up.
he did what he had to do in his career. He's made his money, and he can ride off into the sunset now. Gilbert Burns, though, I don't want this just to be about Masvidal being 38 and all that. Gilbert Burns looked fantastic. I still think he's a freaking title contender.
He definitely is. Put on mass for this
God.
fight too. He looked bigger than he has previously. He said he hired like 5 professional scouts to watch all his previous fights to tell him what he's doing wrong and like specifically work on those things. Guys don't do that. Fighters don't do that. That's like next level shit. HW Comer says Gilbert is a very smart dude. Really enjoyed listening to him. He is very smart.
And he's a killer, man. Let's not forget that he was very close to taking Kamaru Usman out as well. He cracked him.
Yeah, you heard him bad. He also said that Masvidal was definitely greasing for this fight. Said he was super slippery from the beginning, like he was covered in lotion or some shit. It's like that's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, he looked fantastic. He said that give me a title shot or cut me after this, basically, which I don't know how that's going to work out. I hope he doesn't stick to that, Giving Dana White an ultimatum almost never
works out. Never works out. No.
Yeah.
Unless you're Kobe.
Unless you're Kobe, because he's got some kind of dirt on him. Masvidal retires, has a pretty good retirement until the last 3 sentences of the interview. It was a very cool moment because he's a legend of the game, and then he just turns it like super political, and it's like, we didn't need that. Regardless of like your political beliefs and stuff, it's like it was a very cool moment up until that, and then he starts going super political, and I was like, do that like later in the press conference or something. Don't do it in the cage, Like he's gonna look back. We're in this weird like political fad right now. Like I don't think it's gonna be as like team heavy at like later on, like years down the line. So like looking back on it, I feel like it's gonna be kind of a bummer for him looking back on the interview and being like, damn, I did that when I retired. That kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Just kind of corny.
Man, the way I look at it, you could do whatever the heck you want, man. After a 20-year career, say whatever you want. Everybody's not gonna like it, but you earned your right to have your 5 minutes in there afterwards and say whatever the hell you want, and then ride off into the sunset. His kids up there with him, walking out with him, like that part was cool, right?
That is cool. Like,
and like he said, he's like, it's been 20 years, man.
Yeah,
like I'm good,
Yeah.
So good for him. Man.
Real quick, Regen says Dana was told about what Gilbert said, and he said he likes it and Gilbert has a deal. I was surprised at that response. I was too. But also the way he said it seemed like he was like, yeah, cool, he's got a deal. And then he's like, but we're still making Colby. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah. Well, so it's going to be Colby versus Leon Edwards, and then the winner of Colby versus Leon probably gets Gilbert then?
Maybe, but then they're also talking about Bilal's fighting Usman, and it's like if Bilal beats Usman, like he has to get a title shot.
If Bilal beats Usman, they'll probably put him up against whoever's ranked 10th after that.
Shavkat. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, something's going to happen. Watch. Poor Bilal, man, but let's be real here.
Did you see him?
He beat Usman. I saw him walking into the cage with Bahamontes.
Did you see his shirt?
No. What was it?
He's rocking just a black shirt with a picture of Colby, where Colby, when he got his jaw broken against Usman, and he's all bloody, and it looks like he's crying, and he's like looking kind of at the camera with a broken jaw. He was just wearing that.
That's
hilarious.
Classic. That is classic. All right, man. We're 30 minutes in and only 2 fights in.
Yeah, I knew we were going to take a long time on the first one.
Yeah.
HB Comer says, I also could have done without the brand and stuff, but the freedom to say whatever that UFC gives to the fighters is one of the things that makes it great. 100%.
100%. Hey, couldn't have said it any better, HB Comer, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.